Have we moved?
Yeah, we've moved now.
Good,
Something moved. I have to change.
I thought Saturday was never going to end.
I thought it was cute. I liked Saturday.
I know. Drew's out of the will, though.
Again?
Still. Where was I? Oh, yeah. If you listen to the mailbags on whenever we put Saturday, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you listen to the mailbag.
You used to be a professional.
I get paid for this.
Yeah.
Not much. And you can see why. Where was I now? Oh, if you have listened and or watched us and said, my, that's entertaining. Don't say that out loud, by the way.
Yeah, it's likely you've recently been in the concussion protocol.
Yeah, it might still be.
Yep.
Because I have it on firm authority. Several NFL players have listened to us until they recovered. Where was I now? Oh, would you please like, subscribe, and follow? All three of those things are a big deal to Mr. Al and his algorithms.
Yes.
Mr. Al and Miss Algorithm.
Well, let's just say these are wild algorithms he has to deal with.
That's right. These are free-range algorithms.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All of them.
Wow.
There's a way to go. Anyway,
Back to Swedberg.
Like
any joke laying on the table.
If it's there, I will use it. And even if it's not there, I'll set it on the table and use it. Where was I now? Oh, you like, subscribe, and follow us. Wow.
For the third time.
This is getting out of hand. Well, I can't do that. You got to like, subscribe, and follow us. Need an even number. Because I have 3 pens.
Well, of course you do.
Like, subscribe, and follow us. And if you have a question, comment, conundrum, or snark, you can leave it wherever you find it, unless it's wordy. If you have more of a missive, something that could be bound and published.
Like with the Pope's missiles.
The Pope has missiles?
He has missiles. Every now and again, he shoots one out to everybody saying, hey, knock it off.
Not this Pope.
No, not this Pope.
No. Hang on. Gotta get the Catholic one right. All right.
Exactly.
Anyway, you can leave a comment wherever you find us, wherever you watch or listen, or you can send us a story, a longer question, comment, conundrum, or if you have a snark. We like snarks.
Be good.
We do. We like snarks. We did food for them and some water set out. You can do that via the old and ever popular snail mail. Send it to Scott's house at...
Wait a minute.
What? Oh, email.
Yeah, at 1006.
So, hang on. Let me do this quick. Net radio. Is it? No. It's this TITR at netradio.network. That's where you send longer stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is True, Really News with Scott Combs and Tony Vercanis. All the news you're about to hear is true.
Really?
As far as you know.
From history.
So, what about my address? Now
Yes.
I was going to tell you before, but I figured Sheila doesn't need to hear this.
Yeah, she just waits until we get started.
She does. My theory is companies are weird. We love our cable company. Mm-hmm. They have been they are spectacularly good, and the fact that they're somehow related to one of the ones in the cities that gets badmouthed.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We don't care. They're perfect up here. They're spectacularly good up here.
Yeah, mine's really good, but I went to the business side of it.
Yeah. And we switch phones.
Okay.
So the reason I mention that is because now you have 2 companies involved.
Okay.
Right? You have Verizon.
Yep.
And Midco, because Midco is bundled in with all of our stuff. The phone, the home phone. We still have a landline, I think.
So do we, and I can't talk Ann out of it.
See, I couldn't talk Robin out of it either. Now I know why. She's going to retire in the next year or 2.
Okay.
Or 3, depending how expensive I am.
Yep.
And because I'm worth it. Don't. Where was I? So to get the number, it was very simple, right? You had to call Midco, get this PIN.
Yeah.
Give Verizon the PIN. and then they would take care of it.
Yes.
And it will take between 3 and 10 business days. That seems fair.
Okay.
So I get a call. I'm in the restroom, resting.
As you do.
As one does. And the phone rings, and I can hear the machine go, and it's like, hi, this is this nice lady from Verizon, and listen, we really have to talk to you about switching this phone over because something's not quite right here, blah, blah, blah. So I run to the phone. Hello, because sometimes when you try to get it off, the voicemail just hangs them up.
Yep.
It hung them up, and my first words were, oh, rats. That didn't work well. Something like that.
Yeah.
Along
nice
those
paraphrase.
lines. Thank you. And the phone rings immediately, and it's, thank you. Hello? Hi, I think we got cut off. Yes, I think we did. What's the problem? I said, well, we sent all the paperwork. No, this was Wednesday, like a Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
This is the following Monday. Sent all the paperwork to Midco, but they said the name and the address don't match. Yeah. So we run it down, and it's
Did Robin move?
I said, well, the address 1006, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Yep. We go through it all. And, well, maybe it just was a glitch, and I'll send it through again. Can you give me the address one more time? Sure. So I give her the address. At the very end of our street address, you put an N for north.
Yes.
Guess what wasn't on the address she had?
The N.
She said, well, that should change most everything. And part of me is going, Midco couldn't figure out it was us. And I thought, no, they probably couldn't take that leap legally.
Well, maybe. I don't know.
I'm thinking, I don't either. So now Robin comes home and says, so here's the deal. And I explained it to her, and she thought that was pretty funny because she works for a city government. She knows how the details matter.
Bureaucracy is its own
and how it can run
reward.
rampant.
Yeah.
Yeah. So because of an N, we're now waiting 3 to 10 business days.
Again.
Yeah.
This from History Facts. You ready? We're in the Wayback Machine.
I was born ready.
We were pretty much in the Wayback. For a long time, we had to go back to 1832.
Wow, I was just a pup.
After Mexico won its independence from Spain in 1821, its political environment was unstable, and its relationship with France was fraught.
Well, most relationships with France are fraught. So.
These tensions came to a head in 1832 when a group of Mexican army officers went into a pastry shop outside Mexico City. Shop owned by one Monsieur Remontel, a French national. The officers helped themselves to every pastry in his shop and left without paying.
Of course they did.
And if you can see the light at the end of the tunnel, yes.
It is the train.
Yeah. Afterward, Remontel demanded an enormous sum of 60,000 pesos as compensation from the Mexican government. It's about, what? It was 60 times the total value of his shop. Remontel wasn't the only Frenchman to lodge such a complaint. Foreign nationals living in Mexico at the time started to complain about property damage sustained during civil disturbances and sought redress from the Mexican government with no success because all they said was, yeah, you can put on a new set of clothes anytime you want. Redress, get it? That may not have happened. In
There
1830,
have been a dramatic reenactment with some license.
In 1837, the French government got involved. France drew a hard line on the pastries, demanding that Mexico pay a total of 600,000 pesos or prepare for war. Mexican government couldn't pay, so the French Navy instituted a blockade of Veracruz, the main Mexican port along the Gulf of Mexico. After 7 months, French soldiers escalated by firing on the fortress and then occupying the city. France eventually withdrew after being guaranteed payment through Great Britain. Officially, the conflict was called the First Franco-Mexican War, but it became known derisively as the Pastry War in Mexico. Though the conflict may sound petty, it had a major influence on Mexican history. Are you ready?
Hang on.
Yeah.
May? Go ahead.
During the war, and this is the whole reason I've read this story, during the war, troops were led by Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna,
Forerunner of?
the former president of Mexico who is disgraced after losing Texas to the United States.
Oh, it was the.
Santa Anna lost a leg fighting the French, was amputated after being injured by cannon fire. And the incident restored his public reputation. He went on to become president of Mexico 7 more times.
Well, you can't keep a good man down.
I don't know what the lesson here is at all. I know all I know is if you piss off a baker, it could cost somebody their leg.
This is why I never, ever try to tick off the baker.
Right? They are my
Because
friend.
I want to know what's in my Bismarck. New Mexico fun facts. Well, sort of. The gold rush may not have happened in the U.S. had it not been for Jose Ortiz striking gold in Dolores, New Mexico.
Oh.
It was a key factor in spreading American populations out west. They came to New Mexico. They didn't find gold. They left. Went to California. Whether they found gold or not, they stayed. I can't explain that. Well, I
think
can,
it's
but
because Hollywood was there.
it would be mean. Here's due to it as liberal as New Mexico has become, because of its explicit nature, roughly 400 words have been were ordered removed from Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet by New Mexico officials.
Oh, good Lord.
Romeo and Juliet. New Mexico is home to one of the closest presidential votes in recent history, Bush-Gore, 2000. 366 votes separated the two, which is even less than Florida, despite what the media would tell you. But
Yeah.
yeah. The World Shovel Race Championships held every year in Angel Fire, New Mexico.
Yeah, but shovel race?
I don't know. I would think you should be the shovel every time. It has no legs. Dancing while wearing a sombrero is illegal in New Mexico.
Why? Because it's cultural
I don't know.
appropriation?
That one would be interesting.
What?
That would, I don't know. Oh boy. Here you go. In 1607, which is roughly 13 years before the Pilgrims landed on Plymouth Rock, Santa Fe was founded, making it the second oldest town in current day America.
Oh, yeah.
It would be the third if you count Jamestown, but that's really just a tourist
thing. Yeah.
park thing now.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, what was the oldest? Oh, St. Augustine.
Yes.
Or Augustine, depending on how
Where you
pronounce
fall on the
poor name.
pronunciation. Yeah.
Originally, by the way, Santa Fe was known as La Villarreal de la Santa Fe de San Francisco de Asas. Shortened it in 1610 because people died writing that name on their envelope.
They were sixth at the time they started.
Before achieving his fame, Doc Holliday was a dentist in Las Vegas, New Mexico. Holliday, of course, would then join up with the Earp brothers and make his fame in Tombstone. And Lucky Luciano would move to Las Vegas to Nevada and get rich.
They moved to the town?
No.
I didn't think so.
There's somebody else's name.
There were two.
Sometimes you could be my wife.
There are two Minneapolises, you know. Actually, there's more than that.
More than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know I have friends who live in Minneapolis, Kansas.
Yeah, and I've been past it.
While New Mexico ranks first in alcohol-related automobile accidents.
And now you know why.
Well, you're living in New Mexico for...
Once you figure that out, it's downhill.
Yeah, so it ranks first in alcohol-related auto crashes. It ranks 25th in auto fatalities.
Oh, my.
Why?
Because they're loosey-goosey. All of them.
I don't know. Where was I? Oh, average
6.
roughly, New Mexico averaging roughly 12 people per square mile. They are greatly outnumbered by livestock numbers in the state.
Yes.
You do not want to be outnumbered by the cows. You ever see them standing there while you're driving by? They just watch.
It'd be worse if they were honey badgers.
Chewing on their cuds, going, they're ours one day.
Yeah,
When
but
is
they
that?
got to figure out the
Probably
difference.
when we're done here chewing on our cuds. We never get done. I know. We got to fix on that.
Well, that and they got to figure out the difference between solid and liquid rocket fuel.
It's illegal for any woman to appear unshaven in public in New Mexico. I don't know what that means. And apparently, like, bearded ladies would not fare well.
How do you check?
Well, they'd have a...
Yeah.
Oh.
That's what I was thinking.
You're icky.
I am not. I'm a boy.
No, you're still icky.
Oh, I think that goes with yeah, along with the definition of boy.
Yeah. Smokey the Bear was invented in New Mexico after the Capitan Gap Fire of 1950, which burnt down 17,000 acres of land. They said,
Wow.
how do we stop that from happening again?
Make a
I
cartoon
know.
bear.
Let's make a cartoon bear. And apparently it worked. Oh, and if you ever stayed at Hilton, the Conrad Hilton, the founder,
Yep.
was a San Antonio, New Mexico son.
Really?
Who knew?
That's interesting.
And the Santa Fe staple, Tia Sophia, claims to be the first to invent a breakfast burrito, dating all the way back to 1975.
Well, that sounds good to me. I do like breakfast burritos.
I like it better that New Mexico wine can be traced back to the early 1600s. Some of that stuff has got to be aged about right by now.
Speaking of things Latin, this from the Latin Times via Ronnie Tucker.
Carpe Mike Dime?
Yes. Seize the Mike Dime.
Isn't that what it says on that Carpe Dime?
Diem means seize the day.
Oh.
Carpe cacum, seize the cake.
Carpe Carpe.
Seize the
Seize
fish.
the carp.
Yeah.
We're
Anyway,
stopping now.
from the Latin Times via Ronnie Tucker, Brevard County.
There's a Latin Times?
Yes, there is a Latin Times.
Is it printed in Latin?
No, it's printed in English.
Then it's not Latin.
There's some Latin in English.
Yeah, great. I have some Irish in me too, but no one knows.
Well, now everyone does. Happy?
I wouldn't believe me, though, if I told him that.
Brevard County Deputy Lexi Gordon pulled over a vehicle in which Taryn Ackrey was a passenger.
So if you're Welsh and Irish,
Yeah, oh boy.
that'd be a fight.
On January 18th of 2025. So this past
I'm sorry,
January.
start over again.
Okay. Welcome to Mailbag.
Too far.
From Latin Times via Ronnie Tucker.
That's right. Latin Times in English.
Brevard County Deputy. Well, I'm not reading it in Spanish.
And now we have the English Times in Latin.
Brevard County Deputy Lexi Gordon pulled over a vehicle in which
Three seminarians can now read.
Taryn Ackrey was a passenger on January 18th, 2025.
Yes.
A search of her belongings led to the discovery of a bag labeled
Bag?
definitely not a bag full of drugs, which bizarrely contained methamphetamine, needles, Narcan, digital scales, and other drug-related items. So it wasn't a bag full of drugs, but it was drugs and drug paraphernalia. Ackrey was promptly arrested and held without bond. Why was she held without bond, you may well ask?
Why was she held without bond, I ask?
Because just 12 days...
I ask? I don't know how Alan Tudyk does that, but he does that really
It's
well
hilarious.
when he plays Clayface. Okay.
Yeah. Because just 12 days earlier, she'd been arrested for methamphetamine trafficking, but was released on bond.
So she thought,
What the heck? What can they possibly do?
if I put a sign on it,
Brevard County Sheriff Wayne Ivey criticized the judicial system for allowing repeat offenders to secure bond, stating this is absolute insanity. I'm with you, Sheriff.
dude, how many people? That's been said before, even in Latin.
Acri now faces multiple charges, including possessions of methamphetamine with intent to sell and drug paraphernalia possession, adding to her previous tracking charges. With her bond revoked, she remains in custody. Oddly, she hasn't been charged a third time. I can't figure out how that works.
I can. We don't catch the smart ones.
Yeah, right.
Wow. Okay, some people have incredible body control, correct? And it's I mean, think about it. You watch gymnasts.
Oh, you're talking...
Right? That's amazing body control.
I
If
was
you look
thinking
at the
of
great
Petomane.
actors. Michael Landon was trying to help Melissa Gilbert way back when on Little House on the Prairie.
Yep.
And they were talking about how to cry on purpose. And in the middle of him talking to her, all of a sudden tears started rolling down his eyes. I mean, he could like that.
Wow.
Mr. Deepak is like that too, but it's not great gymnastics move or crying that he can do on command. How did you miss this story? Because he can poop on command.
So he's like Petomane, the fart machine, with the gloves off.
What? Sure. How he didn't end up in Hollywood, we don't know, because there's enough of it there.
Yeah,
And he could help with the supply.
We need a new movie.
Instead, he
okay,
turned
here
to a
comes
life
one.
Instead, Mr. Deepak turned to a life of crime. You see, he's a notorious serial thief who has plagued Delhi for quite some time.
Which one?
I believe it's the old Delhi.
So it's East Coast.
No, we're talking India.
They have delis in India?
No, they have cities named Delhi in India.
Oh, I'm going to have to mark that down.
Why do I even talk to you? Is there a reason?
Money.
Anyway, it's said that he is not the sneakiest of thieves, and cops have chased him many times after he's been busted.
They follow the trail of breadcrumbs.
He's never been caught, though, because like the wet bandits, he leaves a calling card. He would, shall we say, deploy distractions when the police closed in, and then run away when they recoiled in disgust. Not anymore, though.
Oh, no.
A police team armed with stink-proof masks arrested him, and he has now confessed to his crime.
Oh, crap, I'm busted.
I'm wondering two things. Did he actually in his pants when he got arrested finally?
You know, you'd think he would have to.
And does anyone wonder besides me how this marvelous talent will help him in prison? Anybody?
Oh, I think it'll keep guys away from him.
He'd better hope.
Coming
How
up,
did he not become a superhero?
I am poop mad.
This is true, really news. Send email to TITR@netradio.network.